So a little while back, I ran across this Browning range tool. Now, unfortunately, this is almost gone. I think they've been discontinued. I don't think they were very successful, so you can still find them on eBay and some more obscure websites. But if you want one of these, I would really try and pick these up quick. I've seen these for sale as low as $22 and then $30 maybe to $40 on some other sites. The most useful feature is a utility knife. It does have a protector for the blade. It comes with a really nice set or a protector case for your utility knife blades. And then it comes in this almost like an eyeglass case, which seems a little bit overkill for such a very small tool, but it's a nice touch. The utility knife itself sits on this ledge. This almost feels like cork or something. It's a little different. And then a lot of this tool is actually meant for like a shotgun tool. So you can see it says full improved cylinder skeet, modified, none cylinder. Yeah, a little different. And then on the back is where they have this 20 and 12 gauge and then a 1/2 inch wrench. And then on this side is your can opener, because every tool desperately has to have a can opener. They advertise this as a folding frame lock design. It does lock into place right here, and then you can unlock that. And then it does have these insert bits. Now, these bits right here will be number 2 Phillips, a medium flat and small flat screwdriver, a T15 Torx, and a number 4 Allen is what these will be. I think these, yeah, so these are not double-sided. They're just one size, and then they fit into this pouch right here. This is a very unusual tool. I wanted to go ahead and weigh it first. Comes in at 3.2 ounces, or grams, it would be 90 grams. It is a very lightweight tool. And then as far as the length, come in about 4.5 inches. Well, more like 4 3/4, I guess. Well, just over 4.5, about 12 centimeters long. This is a very unusual tool. Let me know what you guys think. Now, recently Wurkkos reached out to me and they said, hey, we'd love for you to try out a couple flashlights. And the first one of these is the HD11. We'll review the other flashlight another week. Now, this one right here, I think has some factors that make it very useful for HVAC. The first thing is it does have the magnetic tail cap, which is very useful. And then I do like this sliding, how it slides into a right angle flashlight. That is very, very useful for those in the tech field, and I think that makes it a very useful light. Let's get into some of its features. Now, it does have this clip. It does have a nice metal body to the flashlight, and then when we unscrew the back right here, here is the battery that is rechargeable right there. And one of the things I found out is to use this flashlight, you have to be make very sure that it's tightened on this side as well as this side right here at the end. So definitely make sure all this is tightened up, or the flashlight will not come on and you'll wonder, what on earth happened to my light? When it needs charged, then it will be red, and then charged, pretty much fully charged, I think, is green right there on the light. In the box, it will come with a charging cord and a lanyard that you can hold it around your wrist. On the box here are some of more of the simple lumen specifications so that you can quickly see what this flashlight can do. And then let's get into how you can actually go through the functions of this flashlight. And I love that in the instructions they have this cheat if you don't want to spend hours trying to figure out how many buttons to click. You can just go through this table right here. Now, from the off position, one click will bring it on to spotlight for the flat angle, and then floodlight on the right angle. So if you turn it back off and just hold, then the moonlight mode will come on. So we'll turn it off again. It's off, 2 clicks, that's turbo mode. And then we'll turn it off, 3 clicks. Let's see. Let's do that again. There we go. And the red light comes on. Hold in the red light, and then you have your flashing red light right there. And then 4 clicks is lock or unlock. I don't usually use that function at all. I just usually turn it on or turn it off. I don't get too fancy with flashlight, but you can do that. I have not had a lot of issues with this light turning on, actually, because it is a little bit longer, and I usually actually carry it on my belt something like this. So the button is almost facing the outside. So this is one of those flashlights I actually don't find turning on as much at work as some other lights, even that have the lock and unlock button. I do feel like they do pretty good with that. It's pretty neat how you can, this is not that prone to turning on. All right, so let's go ahead and let's say this is on. Here's the moonlight mode. All right, and then if the flashlight is already on, you can do the just the 1 click, and then it goes low, medium, high, turbo. All right, so we'll turn it back on. We'll do 2 clicks, and then it will be the spotlight, floodlight, and then the spot and the floodlight. All right, and then let's do 3 clicks, and then it will be red. You hold it on, and then the red flash. It's got a lot of really cool options in the flashlight. You can see how you can use these outer rings or the inner flashlight, or both to some extent. So pretty cool options on this light. So I was reading in the instructions, and it says that it is made out of aluminum, aerospace grade, 6061, CNC manufactured. Now let's weigh this, and it comes in at 4.9 ounces. It's about the size, a little bit more than a PowerPoint, SOG PowerPoint. And then, let's see, 139 grams. As far as length goes, this is about just over 5 inches or almost 14 centimeters long. And then when you do the right angle, it actually shrinks it about an inch, about 4.5 inches long. It's a pretty cool light, actually. Now, one of the surprising things, I guess my only complaint is that Wurkkos actually makes the HD10, which I actually like to carry better. So it's not a huge complaint. It's just that they have some models that I like even more. And so this version right here, I like to carry at home. It goes with my orange EDC kit. And I found this on Amazon for pretty cheap. I forget how much it was, $20 or so. And yeah, a huge fan. This one goes for around $26, $30, somewhere around there. And this one goes for, I think, a little bit less, but both of these seem to be pretty great lights from Wurkkos. I don't have too much information on this next multi-tool, but this next multi-tool at one time was sold by Tractor Supply by the brand name Job Smart for only $10. And I think this is the closest Leatherman Skeletool replica, clone, whatever you call it, that I have seen. This is a real Skeletool, and this is the fake version on the side. This one actually does come with a Leatherman style bit. This might have been one of the first clones that actually came with a Leatherman bit. I don't know. I have never seen this at Tractor Supply. I don't even know how long Tractor Supply has been open, but from this packaging, this looks like an older tool. I mean, when were multi-tools $10 even at Tractor Supply? Prices have skyrocketed, so I would imagine this has been out several years. I cannot find this being made anymore, but it is a very close copy. One of the things that is different is it's got spring-loaded pliers, and then it has almost like this little crimper in the handles, which is different. I don't know if that's trying to differentiate it from the Skeletool or not. But you can see that it is a cheaper tool. Most of these cheaper tools have these springs in it, so it's not probably made that well. The handles have a hard time even keeping closed. I guess because of that spring. I'm not sure, but yeah, it doesn't fit closed that well. It seems to want to push back out. This looks very thin, this metal on the end. And here is a comparison shot between the Skeletool and this clone right here. Yeah, big gap right there, a little different. Then when we open this up, there is a pocket clip, very similar, very reminiscent. And on this side, there is the knife right here. That looks very similar to the Skeletool. These little weird shapes are a little different, but still very similar. Has a lot of the same mechanism. And then on this side, instead of having an extra bit, they decided to go for a wood saw. And this wood saw is not locking. Now, I actually think that's a pretty brilliant idea to have another tool in this handle instead of an extra bit. That makes a lot of sense to me. I really wish Leatherman would do that with the Skeletool. I think a lot of people would find that extremely useful. I don't know if they'd want a wood saw, but why not make it almost like the Sidekick, the Wingman, make a scissor version and a wood saw version. Yeah, that would be a cool upgrade, but I doubt Leatherman will ever do that. But maybe with the Alpha, it does seem like they are looking at some of the clones and saying, hey, people really like that. Now, this clone of the Skeletool comes in at 168 grams or 6 ounces. So it comes in a full ounce heavier with that saw blade, or pretty much a full ounce heavier than the original Leatherman Skeletool. But I do think that that weight would be pretty well received if you got a whole extra tool out of it. Let me know what you guys think about this. I don't think it's a good tool at all. I like adding it to my collection, but I do like, I like that idea of adding an extra tool. Obviously, it needs a lock in there, but I think that's a fantastic idea. And that's some of the reason why I like collecting these tools, because they may be junk, but they do have some good ideas in them. Let me know what you guys think.